Okay, let's talk about the Munsters and some spooky stuff you could do on any kind of like minor, rockabilly, psychobilly, punk rock. If you just want to be spooky, we're going to talk about some of that stuff after we go through the Munsters. And so I'll just go through the Munsters slowly and tell you what I'm doing. I'm thinking mostly E minor, harmonic minor, or melodic minor. So that's all harmonic minor. Melodic minor. I'm mostly just using this pattern here. You know, like if you go in any guitar book or like some of these guitar training programs they have online, they teach you to play scales kind of in a little box. It's not bad. I mean, you could definitely use it, but that's where the melody is going to come from. So if you have that pattern memorized, E minor in this position, it's going to come in handy. The next part, it's like a D7, landing on a G. So that's A, yeah. Back to B7. That's the sharp 7 leading back to. Little lick there, little minor lick. Now this is the part that a lot of people trip out about because you know I'm kind of switching octaves so that I could use the low string. So flat 5. So I'm getting the sharp 7 with the whammy bar here. So I couldn't go lower to play those low notes, so I just played them right there from we got 2, 4, 1, back to 2. Those are the frets. So I'm looking at the 5th scale degree, little melodic minor ending there. Then I wanted the B section or the bridge part in the low note, so I did it here. And I actually played this wrong when I played it before. So that's gonna be 2. These are the frets: 2, 3, open, 2, and then open with the whammy bar. So that's that same lick, but I'm going to do it twice. I'm doing it way up here in the octave. So I'm really using the whole guitar for it. Mostly just using these patterns of what an E minor scale would be. And that brings me to the next thing I wanted to tell you about, which is on a minor tune, you can get away with a lot more. In fact, if you're thinking harmonic minor, you don't even know the scale so much. You can get away with a lot of half steps as long as it's not the major third. So that's kind of a trick. It's not going to get you totally off the hook, but you know, so you're playing something. Let's say you're playing like. Sounded like the Dead Kennedys. I was just looking for half steps because that's going to give me the spooky sounds and give me some cool licks. If you're using, let's say we're going to use this one for E minor. Even the half step above the root is going to sound pretty crazy and spooky. I used to call this the gypsy lick. Sounded like some gypsy music. So just riffing with that, Okay, lick number 1. I'm just using my first finger and my second finger for all those. Now I'm up in the 12th position, landing back on the E. Very cool one. I like to do it on one string with the open drone. So I would start with this E here. Hopefully it's a little more in tune. Here's a trick for my Gretsch guys. If your guitar is out of tune, before you start tuning, just wiggle the whammy bar. I saw Brian Setzer do this 1,000 times. Usually it makes everything go back in tune. A lot of people say, oh, the Bigsby doesn't stay in tune. Nah, man. All you got to do is just wiggle this thing and everything kind of rebalances itself. So if you're playing a lot, you're doing your thing. You're like, oh, you got to play a chord. It's out of tune. Wiggle it a little bit. It'll all come back. It's a bit of an adventure to have any guitar with a whammy bar system, but you got to be willing to go on the adventure. Ride the wave, okay? So here we go. Lick number 2. I'm going to play my minor scale on the second string with the first string as a drone. I think we did this with a blues scale in the past too. That would also work great. It's more of a hot rod type sound. That would work on a major tune as well. Anyway, lick number 3. It's not really so much a lick, but just a willingness to get crazy on a blues scale in an open position. Messing with the blues scale in the open position is going to give you so much to mess with. And once again, the half steps, you can kind of just flirt around or get weird with these half steps on a minor tune, spooky tune like this. Even a half step above. Of course, then you can start going up on one string. But there's 3 licks that you can use, or at least ideas, to get some spooky sounds on a minor tune.